your own fi make you be forever known. I feel it so this, you can't go leave the prince alone. Get the crown, then me bring it home, pull it Jesus. No, make it sound and no promo spirit. Move so fast, left them in a slow-mo. When my Bible away, but no catch it flow. No, oh no, don't my hell, we never want go. When me say me move so fast, my brother, this and no sonic. Some little boy things say them, but through them I like a one-matic. Had the word I got me beat you with no this and no magic. You can't stop it, the word that's squaring at the box like on a kick. Me have it, full of faith, man, I God, we no panic. Had the gospel of the Lord, I it alone, me a traffic. Me have it, full of power, we no join the bag of lip. Speak life for your life, me say you better go grab it. Bible verse, I want me load up and you know the plan. Me focus and fi make it a heaven and me the only one. So the nan, do this so different, me are the only one. Chosen one, Jesus never wrong, so no loud the man.
Jamaica, make we do the right thing. Make we live good today for a better tomorrow. Talk it out, don't fight it out. The time by the Ministry of National Security is
6:30.
The Mona campus of the University of the West Indies has set itself the ambitious target of raising $250 million over the next 5 years as it embarks on a revenue revolution. So what's the pathway to this target, and how does the university leverage its standing among the best universities in the world to swell its coffers? That's the discussion I'm embarking on this evening on Lead Story here on CVM TV. Thank you very much for watching Lead Story on CVM TV this evening. Consider me your personal journalist. My name is George Davis, and education is under the microscope on the show today. At the University of the West Indies, its AAA strategy is into its second phase, phase one done, where it took care of pedagogy, it took care of academics, pedagogy, of course, the science of teaching, academics, self-explanatory, and now it's moving into a second phase where it says it's all about the revenue imperative. It has set itself a hugely ambitious target, $250 million over the next 5 years to sustain itself and to raise its equity profile and free itself from the shackles of debt over successive academic years. The University Registrar, Dr. Donovan Stanberry, has joined me in studio, and we'll be having that discussion. Before that, though, we want to set the stage for you, and we're doing so with this nugget from Courtney Lewis.
Networks for capital inflows into the University of the West Indies remains top priority for its management. Vice-Chancellor Professor Sir Hilary Beckles acknowledged the efforts made thus far by its campuses as the UWI Mona campus aims to generate $7.4 billion over the next 5 to 7 years through Phase 2 of a strategic initiative dubbed the Revenue Revolution.
Among our top priorities has been a laser focus on the university's financial health, reducing dependency on government funding, and moving towards improved budgets for our future sustainability. We embraced a new financial culture and formulated the second phase of our AAA strategy, anchored by cost-saving measures, bankable entrepreneurial projects, backing from the grant market and international funders, as well as a business model for our new global online campus.
And so we have to be robust in our management, we have to be strategic in our decision making, and we have to ensure that this university continues to rise and to make proud the people of the Caribbean.
Courtney Lewis for Lead Story.
Thank you, Courtney. So it's a tale of constricted budgets and tight purse strings at the UWI. Still, the institution has been able to meet its targets of lifting its standing on the World Universities Ranking. Times Higher Education publishes the annual rankings, and it's proud to see, certainly I am as a Caribbean man, the University of the West Indies, Mona, well, the University of the West Indies broadly through the Caribbean, sitting high on the table. Dr. Stanberry, welcome to Lead Story, sir.
Thank you very much.
So let's start here. The UWI is world class in many areas. There is an admission based on research that the institution can be doing much better, if we talk about the Mona campus, can be doing much better where revenue generation is concerned. As things stand now, where do you get the source of your funds from?
Okay, thank you very much. So, as it is now, the university, the Mona campus that is, approximately 40% of our expenditure we derive from contributions from the 17 territory that own the university. 90% of that sum is from the government of Jamaica itself, since we are situated in Jamaica. Another 17–18% we get from student fees. So let us roughly round it off to 60%. So we do have a 40% gap that we try to fill through commercial activities. We are careful to ensure that those commercial activities are within our core competencies. So we don't want to veer from our core business of teaching, research, and outreach. And that is why all new programs that we have put on in the last couple of years have been what we call self-financing. That means those who consume those courses and those programs have to pay the full costs. We also derive revenue from rental. As you know, the university campus is a whole community.
Yes.
So we do have to provide food for our people. So all of those food outlets, I don't want to call their names,
Yes.
we do rent them. We do also generate funding from research grants, because our people do get research grants to conduct research from regional and international organizations, and from those grants there is usually some kind of a management fee. So that is another source. But we have to up the ante, and having somewhat secured our reputation.
Yes.
Being rated by the Times Higher Education has been in the top 3% of universities. We now have to leverage that reputation to earn some revenue.
Yes.
So our current 2022-2027 5-year plan outlines a number of strategies. So again, I say we are not veering from our core business. So one of the strategies, for instance, in expanding access and at the same time earning more money is to increase the cohort of international students within the mix of students that we have. And for good reasons, because international students do pay all over the world. International students do pay more.
What percentage of the student cohort is international now?
Well, right now it's probably about 2 to 3%.
You want to lift that where?
So what we say is that the target is to, within the time, is to increase by about 1,000 or so for all the our five campuses.
By about 1,000 or to 1,000?
By 1,000. We also want to tap into what we call professional short courses. The demographics and the way people think have changed considerably. Many people, younger people, professionals, don't want to come, many of them don't want to come and sit down in a university for 4 years to do a degree. And so people just want to zero in on those specific skills and competencies that they think will help them to advance their career.
But hold on. As you say that, the headline number at the top of the show is what I'm sure has grabbed most people. 250 million in 5 years. So that's 50 million per annum. See, simple arithmetic, not even math just yet. So, as things stand, the existing revenue streams, you have coaxed as much as you can out of them, I'm sure you'll say. So then, where do you go to realize this boom in revenue, Dr.
That's what I
Stanbury?
started to tell you.
Yeah.
So
No, it's not from that perspective I'm asking it. I'm asking from the perspective of, I wanted to speak it in a way that it aligns with the AAA strategy of alignment, access, and agility.
Yeah, so I was under the access headline,
Yes.
where we're increasing our numbers, but strategically, to have a greater mix of international students. And we want to make a break into the market for professional short courses, because there is a growing number of people interested in those things. Not necessarily 4-year courses, but courses that 2 months, 3 months, 1 year in some instances, where we want to partner with industry and say to industry, we have the competencies, we can design a course, tell us your needs, and we can partner. And many universities doing that and making quite a bit of money. On the Mona campus, we have identified, for instance, we're going big time into this matter of global health in terms of increasing, training more people for the health sector, not only in the medical doctors and dentists, but also the allied profession, the imaging, the dietitians, and so on and so forth. We are aligning our training strategy with the government demand, as you know, coming on the horizon very, very within a matter of a short time, in the short to medium term. Governments expanding hospital space, hospital capacity, and so on, which will need a range of specialists. There is also the reality that we cannot train enough nurses fast enough, because we have to just face it that people are going to migrate.
Yeah, we train them for export.
So the more you train,
the more they'll take
some
them.
will migrate and hopefully some will stay. So on the 25th, I don't want to be too detailed with this, because on the 25th, our principal and our executive will in fact launch the expansion of our global health program that will see not only more Jamaicans being trained in those areas, but also facilitating people from abroad, some of these offshore medical schools who want clinical spaces to put their people.
But here's the thing, before we go to the break, but here's the thing, Dr. Stanbury. You just admitted that the space is very competitive, especially in the area of these short courses that you're planning to offer to professionals. I'm wondering about the alignment, pun intended, because alignment is one of your 3 A's. How is it that you forecast to realize the bonanza from the offering of these courses in a highly competitive market? What difference are you going to offer to woo people to choose you rather than the plethora of online-based and traditional brick-and-mortar universities that are offering these services?
Well, as I said, we are leveraging our reputation. The University of the West Indies, and we don't want to sound elitist and cocky.
Yes.
But the fact of the matter is that the University of the West Indies has the greatest concentration of intellectual and brain power within the space. So we are already offering a number of these short courses, and we are going to aggressively and strategically target partners. So for instance, many professional bodies require that their members engage in continuing education and improvement. We are saying to these bodies, we're going to engage them and said, we have the platform, we have the capacity to do that for you. And more importantly, what we are now designing is not just going to a short course and getting a certificate of participation.
Yes.
We are taking these courses and assigning UWI credits to them.
Yes.
And that is the value proposition, to have a UWI credit that can be traded, that you can stock and use to matriculate in one of our traditional programs over time. That's a huge value.
That is a huge value. Am I accurate in saying that the space that you're looking to speak loudly in as you look to rake in these revenues, are spaces that you have been only whispering in up to this point?
Precisely. So we are going to expand our footprint.
I hear you on that. Dr. Donovan Stanbury is the University Registrar at the Mona campus of the University of the West Indies, talking about the AAA strategy and the revenue revolution segment of that strategy that will see them drawing in, raking in $250 million US over the next 5 years. More after these.
The time by Grace. Taste that moves you is
6:45.
I'm Tara Monique from Le Champ Cosmetics, Jamaica's only vegan organic makeup brand. We are the exclusive makeup sponsors for this year's MSW events 14-14-14 Mask Wedding. Our talented team of makeup artists will be providing complimentary bridal makeup services for all brides, and we're so excited. So, if you have a wedding coming up, you can find us at lechampcosmetics.com or on Instagram at lechampcosmetics.
Yo, it's time to go cook some food, see? Really hard man style.
Mr. Vegas himself is in the building.
Yo, shave, what we done, you gonna give me a restaurant.
Tell them say Vegas say so.
You not think to come close and get a look on the thing? Yeah.
Man, Mr. Vegas inside of the building.
Watch this now.
Nice.
You don't know, this is cooking with love. Come eat with love.
Well cooked.
See that? Last year, watch him make me show them say we are the baddest. Chef!
Oh, that's what I'm talking about, cooking with love.
The revenue revolution at the University of the West Indies takes in a lot more than the Mona campus. The $250 million US over 5 years is a university-wide initiative throughout the islands. Oh, I said 5 islands. Yeah, throughout the islands that the university has an office, has a brick and mortar space, offers courses and programs to students. The UWI Mona has an integral role to play as the biggest and largest of the campuses. It has a starring role to play in this revenue revolution, and that's what the registrar of the university, Dr. Donovan Stanbury, is talking to me about. Some time ago, I had cause Dr. Stanbury to point out to my colleagues that I received a text message like I'd never received before. It was a text message from the University of the West Indies advertising itself as an option for tertiary education, and here's why that surprised me. The UWI is the UWI. Brand name is brand name, and our reputation goes before it. The University of the West Indies never before now found itself in a position where it had to advertise its services, because you'd expect that you'd go to high school, graduate, and if you had dreams of making it professionally, you'd need academic qualifications from the University of the West Indies because it sold itself. Now, the space is crowded, the competition is fierce, the price competition is also fierce. So I say that to ask you, your ambitious program for revenue generation, you speak about the training of healthcare workers and the professional short courses. Where will you land on price, to, notwithstanding the fact that you are world class and world rated, but price is the ultimate imperative. How do you price yourself so as to remain competitive with the plethora of other offerings that exist for persons who want the courses that you offer?
So one of the things we're doing, George, is to ensure that we get our pricing right. Not only about where we position ourselves vis-a-vis the other institutions, but also that when we say a course costs $300,000 or $400,000 per annum, we are really capturing all the costs involved in delivering those courses. Yes, you are correct. The tertiary landscape has gotten far more competitive, more crowded, but we are banking on our reputation that we are the only rated and first rated university, and we are being very, very aggressive within the market space. What we are saying to Jamaica is that our value proposition is in fact the best in the terrestrial landscape. Our pricing is extremely competitive. It will shock people to know that for most of our undergraduate degree programs, University of the West Indies at this time is the most competitive, even though we are the only rated ones, the number one rated. Unfortunately, we find that that might not be sufficient to attract people. Hence, we are getting very, very aggressive and very innovative with our marketing endeavors. And I should tell you, and I'm very happy to say that we are paying dividends, because when we look at the figures for the admission figures in terms of application and offers, and people have accepted our offers for the upcoming 2024-2025 academic year. We are seeing some good progress, good increases over the previous year. So it shows that our marketing efforts
is working.
Yeah, they're working.
The issue of where the university wants to go over the next 5 years, up to 2027. Look, all of these plans have been well thought out, I am sure. University Council gave its stamp of approval some time ago. But there is the real risk, Dr. Stanberry, that the UWI could find itself, because of how crowded the marketplace is, and because of how some people feel that a degree is a degree, it doesn't matter if I got it from a world-rated institution or another institution, a degree is a degree. That then forces the price competition to become even more fierce, to the extent that tertiary institutions become like the hated degree mills. You're just bringing people in, charging them, churning them out, bring another cohort in, rinse and repeat, just to keep the coffers ticking over.
But here's the difference.
That's a real risk.
Here's the difference.
Yes.
We are not positioning ourselves at the bottom of the ladder. And I think one of the things that we are intended to do is to position ourselves and define ourselves as at the very top of the rung of universities in Jamaica. And so we are going for the brightest, we are going for the best, because that would be commensurate with the quality, the infrastructure we have and our capacity to deliver. So the University of the West Indies certainly wants to differentiate itself from the rest. We are not just a place to go to, what do you call it, a mill?
A degree mill.
No.
Yes.
We have quality research that we can leverage. So when you come to the University of the West Indies, chances are the person who teaches you is the person who would have done the research, written the book, and not a second hand. So we are trying to differentiate ourselves by quality research, quality outreach, so that people can say, listen, when I step in the University of the West Indies, that's not just a space where somebody come with chalk and talk. We are coming into a space where there is the research, there is the innovation, and all of that.
But here's the thing, I counter with this. I note in the document about the AAA strategy, there is a description, a descriptor of what the typical UWI graduate ought to be. So I take you up on that, because I'm saying, notwithstanding your ranking on the world universities scale, can you tell me today that the UWI graduate in the workspace, whichever field of endeavor they are in, is distinct and different from the product of another tertiary institution, to the extent that that cachet then motivates the employer to seek out UWI graduates, and for UWI graduates to enjoy the real vaunted position of best in class, best across areas, hence the need to get your academic qualifications from there. Is that a real thing?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I mean, people always ask, what's the value of the University of the West Indies?
Yes.
Well, step into any enterprise, be it public or private in this country. You tell me, who are the managers? Who are the people who are the top technical people in those enterprises. I mean, you probably could start with CVM.
Yes. but I could jab you with this. I could jab you with this and say that let me use my area, media and communication.
Yes.
The feeling in the industry, Dr. Stanley, is that notwithstanding the vaunted reputation of CARIMAC as a unit of the UWI, that graduates from a certain other central Jamaican tertiary institution are punching more precisely than those from CARIMAC, as a mark that the UWI ain't all that. That's what the critics say.
Well, I don't know about that. What we are saying is that we continuously review and revise our programs to make them more relevant and answer to the needs of society. So we are in touch with the industry. We are on the cutting edge of research to ensure that what we are doing is relevant and is current. And that kind of capacity, very few other tertiary institutions in Jamaica have that kind of capacity. We are more than just teaching. When you come to the University of the West Indies, it's a comprehensive experience. Not only in terms of teaching, but in terms of the other things that our students get, the leadership that we build through our student structure, the extra, well, we call them in high school extracurricular activities, we call them club and societies, that kind of richness. You can find that anywhere.
On that point of richness, we're almost out of time, but I have to ask you this. Climate change is huge. When will the University of the West Indies emerge as the climate research leaders in this part of the world and monetize that significantly to help make your job of raising revenue even easier?
Well, don't you know that the University of the West Indies is the leading... I mean, I'm surprised I don't know that. The University of the West Indies, our climate study group is the leading set of research scientists in climate change across the world. We're leaders.
Producing what? Producing what? Talk to me.
No. I mean, our scientists have been way up there within the UN system, contributing to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change reports and so on and so forth, led by our Dean of Science and Technology, Professor Taylor, and his group. That is well known across the world. University is a place to come for that kind of research and that kind of scholarship.
Hear you on that. He's evangelizing about the University of the West Indies, the registrar of the Mona campus, Dr. Donovan Stanbury, because he has to. And to tell the truth, it's a world-class institution. You can criticize all you want. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. The rankings don't lie. The University of the West Indies enjoys pride of place where tertiary institutions are concerned. There is the criticism that it believes in its own grandeur, and maybe it has not kept in step with the movement of modern times, infusions in technology, and the great things that are happening coming out of research-based institutions now. But Dr. Stanbury is saying that that's not true. The university is